Let me ask a question that everyone is asking. What has the US achieved after 20 years of war? What's the biggest highlight? They removed the Taliban from power to replace them with the Taliban. Plus, they gifted the Taliban an air force, a complete fleet and latest weapons. And if you think this is a one-off, then think again. The world over, America has armed terror groups, some by design, others by default. I'll start with the Taliban. Look at their new air defense capabilities. The first video is from the Kandahar airport. This one. It features two iconic pieces of US military hardware, the C-208 transport aircraft, which costs $2 million each, and the MD-530F helicopter, cost $2.4 million each. Both are now in the Taliban's hands. How many do they have? Well, we cannot say. Here's a second video, though. This one is from the Herat airport. It shows the Taliban boarding two Mi-17 HIP helicopters. The lowest price for this aircraft is $16.4 million per unit, $16.4 million. Here's another video, again from the Kandahar airport. It shows the Taliban with two American UH-60 Black Hawk helicopters, cost $5.9 million each. Next video from the Mazar-e-Sharif airport. It shows the Taliban posing in front of another MD-530F helicopter. I'll repeat the cost, $2.4 million. These are big, expensive war machines, and we don't know how many of these are with the Taliban now. The Afghan Air Force was operating a fleet of at least 167 aircraft, all developed and supplied by the United States of America. This included 43 MD-530 helicopters, 33 C-208 transport planes, 33 UH-60 Black Hawks, 23 A-29 light attack planes, 32 Mi-17 helicopters, and 3 C-130 Hercules aircraft. And these are the official figures, released by the US Special Inspector General for Afghanistan Reconstruction. How many of these 167 are with the Taliban? Well, there's no official figure. Some of them were flown out of the country, but according to independent websites, most of these aircraft have been geolocated within Afghanistan, meaning they're still there, either with the Taliban or some other terrorist group. What will they do with this fleet? They don't know how to fly them, but they know how to force pilots to fly them. A lot of Afghan pilots have stayed behind in the country. They might be getting job offers they're not allowed to refuse. It's a dangerous situation. Scary. Terrorists in control of state-of-the-art weapons. Who is to be blamed for this? The country that wages wars to support its arms manufacturers, the United States of America. Now, Washington says that these aircraft were meant for Afghan forces. Sure they were. But did the Americans really expect the Taliban to rule the country and not touch the American war chest? Last week, 69 US lawmakers wrote to President Biden asking him questions like these. Does he have a plan to ensure the Taliban do not get nuclear weapons? They haven't got an answer, and they should not hold their breath. The fact is, America routinely arms terror groups. Wherever they go, whichever country they invade, their weapons always end up in the hands of non-state actors. In 2014, the US airdropped weapons and supplies in the Syrian border town of Kobane. The weapons were meant for Kurdish fighters. They ended up in the hands of the Islamic State. The ISIS even released a video thanking Washington for the gifts. 2019, an investigation in fact revealed that arms provided by the US to Saudi Arabia and the UAE ended up in the hands of Al-Qaeda and a variety of terror outfits in Afghanistan. You can look up the details on how exactly this happened. The same year, 2019, there was another revelation, this time in Yemen, where American-made weaponry had fallen into the hands of rival militia groups. What did they do with it? Used it against the US-backed government in Yemen. The arms even flowed into Tehran, where US weapons were reportedly studied and copied by Iranian intelligence. Then they were provided to the Islamic Revolutionary Guards Corps. What for? To target American interests. I could go on, but you get the point. And here's the thing. It's true that wars are unpredictable. Sometimes weapons can end up in the wrong hands, but you can't make a habit of it. And when you do, you are the biggest threat to the world, not the terrorists who wield those weapons. The United States is a repeat offender. It fails to control guns at home. It fails to safeguard its weapons abroad. Iraq, Syria, Yemen, Iran. American weapons have routinely fallen into the hands of terror groups and rogue nations. And now they have provided the Taliban with an air force in Afghanistan. Guess who poses the biggest threat to the world in the name of bringing democracy? WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.